Hi everybody, welcome back. I've just had a couple of weeks away from the plot and I hope to be able to greet you with some nice blue sky and some sunshine, but it's not to be, I'm afraid. It's very, very wet. Hi again. Well, while I've been away sunning it up in Germany with temperatures in the mid-20s, all we've had here, according to my cousin, is rain. Rain, rain and more rain. 14 days. I think only one day was rain-free, and according to my cousin it was a really cold day as well, so nothing's dried at all. All of the beds are completely saturated, just as they were 2 weeks ago. And the rain really is not really been much good for anything other than the grass, which has grown quite a bit, as you can see around the edges of the beds. The rhubarb's grown as well, and which is a good thing, but the grass on the new allotment that we'd completely cleared, that started to grow as well, and we'd not managed to get that covered up, and I'll show you that now. 2 weeks of rain, even in the absence of sun, and you've got yourself a carpet of green. This is the no-dig allotment that we stripped, took all the turf off the top, and we're going to need to get this covered up now so that we can make a start and not worry about the rest of the plot as the weather improves, because within a week or two this grass will be a foot long, I've no doubt about that. So first job here is to get the greenhouse up, so we need to level the foundation just where I'm pointing the camera now. So that's a job that hopefully we'll start on in the next week or two. Well, if there's one thing that you can rely on not to disappoint, it's the rhubarb, and as I mentioned earlier, it's shot up, and you can see as well that the 3 smaller champagne plants, they've come through as well. Slightly different coloured leaf, a little bit darker, but you can see that's bursting through as well. So the glass is half full, not half empty. In the top greenhouse now, and we might as well take a look at the seedlings. We're looking at the tomatoes now, and as you can see, most of the plants have got their first set of true leaves. The typical tomato or potato shaped leaf. And I think they're all through. There's nothing really that's, perhaps 1 or 2 down here, they're lagging behind, but they're all doing okay. I've not noticed any discernible purpling of the shoots or leaves, so it can't have been that cold while I've been away. And I do have the bubble wrap teepee over the top as well. But the most striking thing really is the size of the plants. The seedlings have probably grown about 2 centimetres, if that. And that's the thing about tomato plants. The roots only grow, and as a result the plant only grows, if the temperature is in the region of about 14.5, 15 degrees. If it's below that, then you simply get no growth. And it's just over 2 weeks since these were potted on, and I think of that 2 weeks, you could say a week and a half is lost growing time, because we've just not had the light, clearly. Otherwise they would have been quite a bit bigger. But they're all healthy, as I say. We've not lost any as yet. The other thing that I'm quite pleased about in here is the potatoes. We'll take a look at those. As you can see, I've got 6 pots here. I think these 2 at the front, the bigger ones, they were done last, and the 4 smaller ones, they were the 15-litre pots. And believe it or not, those potatoes were put in those pots about 7 weeks ago, and just before I went away, I resolved when I came back to empty the pots, because I was convinced that the seed potatoes, that the tubers had rotted, and as you can see, they clearly haven't, not all of them anyway, because we've got some shoots coming through. I was just about ready to empty them into a wheelbarrow, take out the mushy potatoes and put some fresh seed potatoes in. But it looks like we've got 2 through in the top there, and I've just had a little look at this big pot here, which is a 30-litre pot, and just in the middle there you can see shoots coming on that as well. So all's not lost, as I feared. So in the top greenhouse, potatoes are through, tomatoes are growing on. I won't bother showing you the chilies under there because they're the same size. They've probably grown about a centimetre, and the cucumbers have not come through, so we'll have to wait with bated breath to see whether they emerge, but hopefully they will if we get some warm weather, and the weather is due apparently over the next few days, due to warm up a little bit. So we'll take a look at the middle greenhouse and we'll have a look at that lettuce. Looking at the lettuce now in the middle greenhouse, and this has just been absolutely fantastic. This last month it's really shot up, and if we look at the first tray that was sown, you can see, if I bend down, you'd probably just be able to make out that the front half of this tray is quite a little bit shorter than the back half, and you can see a bit of a ravine in the middle. Well, this front half was cut just before I went away, which is exactly 2 weeks ago today, and I cut the leaf down to 2 centimetres above the level of the compost, and I think it's pretty fair to say that that's grown maybe another 6 centimetres over the course of that 2 weeks, and that's even without a great deal of sun. So the other trays as well, these 2 here, these were done a little bit after, and you can see that that's bursting with life as well, and it's really densely sown is this leaf, so I shouldn't have to cut very much to get a bag full. The mustard seed, the mixed oriental leaf, that looks amazing as well. That's all about, well, 10 centimetres tall now, and the radish is growing on, as are the beetroot and a few rogue lettuce as well. So I'm going to cut some of this lettuce now, and we'll pop it into a plastic container, and we'll see just how much. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take maybe half of the area at the back, so maybe a strip about 3 or 4 inch in width, and we'll see how we get on with this big, well, it's probably about 10 inch by 10 inch squared plastic container. We'll see how much of that we fill. Okay, that's the tray after the leaf's been cut. The tray's about 15 inch wide, I think, and I've cut a furrow of about 4 or 5 inch in width, as you can see there, and that's the lettuce that it's yielded. And this is as I say, a 10 inch by 10 inch tray, and about 3 inch or just a little bit under that in depth, and it's really healthy, really fresh and juicy, red and green mixed, and I've got the same at the back again there to pick, and I would say within a week there'll be a second cut off this first section. And by the time I've done that, the next tray will be ready, and I do need to start and cut some of this mixed oriental leaf as well. So it's absolutely fabulous, the salad. I'm really pleased with it. So this is what you can expect, Nigel, Muddy Boots. In 3 or 4 weeks time you should be cutting lots of nice lettuce. We'll take a quick look at the onion sets, and as you can see, the first set that I planted just here, they've really come on. They're about 8 inch in height, some of them, and the other sets that we popped in probably 2.5 to 3 weeks ago, they're all greening up nicely as well. So I would say by the time the ground's dried out, give it a week and a half, we might be able to put some, if not all of these into the ground, which will be really nice because I'm chomping at the bit now. It'll not be long before we're in May and there's absolutely nothing in the ground, so roll on the nice weather. I better give the banana shallots a quick mention as well. These were sown in the middle of March, so they've been in here, well, about 4 weeks already, and at least they've come through. Not all of them, but enough probably to fill the best part of a raised bed, so I'm happy enough. They are a little bit spindly, and hopefully over the next 4 to 5 weeks they'll thicken up nicely, and then we can get those planted out as well. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Sunday. I'm a little bit happier today because we've had 2 days without any rain, and that's the first time that's happened for about 3 or 4 weeks. It's a little bit breezy and it looks like we might get a shower now, but yesterday, at long last, my cousin and I managed to make a start on the new allotment. As you saw from a previous update, we'd already stripped the turf off the top, and with all the wet weather, the grass and the weeds were starting to grow again, so we decided to start and excavate the ground where we're going to put the new greenhouse. It's a 16 foot by 8 foot greenhouse, and we've tried to excavate an area about, I would say about 20 foot long by about 12 foot wide, and it was really hard going. I'm very stiff today, but as you can see, we've made a good start. We're still about a yard or so to dig out, but the site rises up to the top of the plot, and the further we've gone, the slower it's got. And I don't know if you can see, but the soil that we've excavated, we've used to run up the side of the boundary fence to try and bed down the chicken wire netting and to keep the rabbits out. And we've also, if I just lift the camera a little bit, we've also levelled off the area where the existing 4th allotment runs into the new plot, so that's going to make it easier to access. That's about it, I think, for this update. I think it's going on for long enough, and we might get a spot of rain or two in a moment, so I'm going to call it a day. Thank you very much for watching and for subscribing, and with a bit of luck, in the coming week we might get some potatoes in the ground, some parsnips, and the onion sets might be ready, some of them at least, to pop into the ground. So we're hoping for a sunny week, fingers crossed, and I'll catch you again next week. Cheers, bye.